Assalamualaikum and very good day to the panel and everyone present. My name is Muhammad Dini Azra bin Raihan and metric number is 2023472364 from the Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation Bachelor of the Sport Management. Today I will present my research proposal titled The Relationship Between Effective Communication and Employee Motivation at All Asia Broadcast Centre. For the first slide, I will present about background of the study. In today's organization, both communication and motivation are very important for success. Clear communication help teamwork, decision making, and trust between employers and employees. At the same time, employees' motivation encourage effort, communication, and productivity in the workplace. However, when communication is weak, for example, unclear instruction, poor feedback, or limit interaction with a leader, employee may feel less confident and less motivated. Studies have shown that supportive communication improve employee well-being and performance. For example, Lutfi Fazlil et al. 2025 for my article found that good communication can increase employee motivation by more than 50%. Similarly, Amin 2024 found that effective communication help build trust, reduce confuse, and improve employee confidence. And communication and motivation are strongly connected. That is why I choose to study this relationship at All Asia Broadcast Centre, which is the headquarters of the Astro Malaysia Holding. For the second slide, I will present about problem statement. Even though communication is known to be important, may workplace still experience communication barrier such as unclear message, lack of feedback, and weak leader-staff interaction. This problem can cause misunderstanding and reduce teamwork and lower employee motivation. In fact, studies show that around 70% of employees feel less motivated when communication is so poor. However, previous research also show mixed results. Some organizations still report motivated employee even when communication is not strong. Because of the inconsistency, it is important to further examine whether effective communication really influence employee motivation, especially in the context of the All Asia Broadcast Centre. Now, I will explain about the purpose of the study. The first purpose of this study is to examine how effective communication influence employee motivation in the workplace. This means I want to see whether clear and open communication can increase employee motivation and improve their work performance. The second purpose of the study is to identify which communication method help employees feel more angered and satisfied at work. From this, the finding may help organization improve their communication practice and build a more motivated workforce. For the next slide is a research question. This study is guided by 3 research questions. For number 1, what is the level of effective communication in the organization? The second one, what is the level of employee motivation in the organization? For a third, is there a relationship between effective communication and employee motivation in the organization? For the next slide is research objective. The objective of this study are, the first one is to determine the level of effective communication in the organization. For the second one is to determine the level of employee motivation in the organization. The third one, for the last, to examine the relationship between effective communication and employee motivation in the organization. Next, I will present about research hypothesis. This study will test the following hypothesis. For the H-null, there is no significant relationship between effective communication and employee motivation. For the H1, there is a significant relationship between effective communication and employee motivation. In addition, the study also tests differences in motivation based on communication method used in the organization. For the next slide, I will present about significance of the study. This study is important for the three main groups. First, employee effective communication can increase motivation, confidence, and teamwork. Second, manage and leader. The finding may help leader improve communication strategy, provide clearance, instruction, and strength engagement. Third, the organization of the All Asia Broadcast Center, stronger communication can improve productivity, reduce misunderstanding, and create a healthier work environment. For the next, I will explain the literature review for my studies. The literature review discuss to the two main variables in my research, which is the effective communication and employee motivation. Effective communication is described as clear, open, honest, and timely communication between employers, and employees. Past research found that when communication in the workplace is clear, employees understanding instruction better, feel more informed, and are more confident in doing their work. Employee motivation refers to the level of effort, commitment, and willingness of employees to perform their job. Motivation can come from within their employees, such as personal certification and interest, or from outside, such as reward and some else. Studies show the motivation employees usually perform better, are more productive, and have stronger commitment to their organization. Now, I will explain the conceptual framework of my studies. The conceptual framework show how the independent, my ID, which is effective communication, influence the dependent variable, which is my DV, is employee motivation. Effective communication in this study includes several elements such as honesty and transparency, openness and information sharing, accuracy of the communication, reliability of instruction, access to information, and timelines of receiving information. Employee motivation in this study is measured. There are four components, which is intrinsic motivation, incentive regulation, introjection regulation, and external regulation. The component describe different reasons why employees are motivated to work. The framework suggests that when communication in the organization is clear, open, reliable, and timely, employees will feel more confident, valued, and will improve. As a result, their motivation level is expected to increase. So, the conceptual framework clearly shows the effective communication is expected to have a positive relationship with employee motivation. For the next slide, which is methodology. This study used a non-experimental quantitative research design. Data will be collected, use a administrant questionnaire. The population consists of employees at all Asia Broadcast Center with a sample size of about 340 respondents determined using the KG and Morgan 9070 table. The sample technique used is random sampling, so every employee have an equal chance to participate. Next, I will present about a sample size. For this study, the population consists of employees who are working at the All Asia Broadcast Center, which is the headquarters of Astro Malaysia Holding. That the total number of employees is estimated to be around 2,856 to 2,887 people. To determine the sample size, I refer to the KG and the Morgan sample size table. Based on this table, a population of around 2,800 to 2,900 employees require a sample size of approximately 340 respondents. This means that about 340 employees will be selected to take a part in this study. Using this sample size help ensure that the finding are reliable and represent the all-over employee population at the All Asia Broadcast Center. For the sampling technique, this study used random sampling. Random sampling means every employee in the organization has an equal chance to be selected to participate in this study. This method was chosen because it helps reduce a bias and make the data more accurate and fair. The sample will include employees from different levels such as manager, supervisor and general staff. By using a random sampling, the results are more respective and better reflect the real situation in the organization. For the next slide, I will present about instrument. The questionnaire just have a 3 section. Section A, demographic information, which is age, gender, race and education level. Section B, effective communication skill by a Fielding 2006 covering interpersonal, group writing and mass communication. For a Section C, motivation at work skill developed by Janet et al. 2010, measure intrinsic motivation, identify regulation, introjection regulation and external regulation. All items use a 7-point Lake scale. For a next slide, I will talk about a data collection produced. Before data collection, I will obtain a tick approval and permission from the organization. Then I will brief the respondent, distribute the questionnaire, collect respondent and analysis the data. I'm using a Jamovi software. For my slide is a data analysis. Descriptive statistic will be used to describe the level of effective communication and employee motivation. Person collection will be used to test the relationship between the both variables. Reliability analysis will also be conducted to ensure consistency of the instrument. For the last slide, which is my reference from my article for my IV and DV, and also I will talk about conclusion. For the conclusion, this study aimed to better understanding how effective communication influence employee motivation at All Asia Broadcast Center. The result may help organization improve communication system and create a more motivated and productive workforce. Thank you. That's all from me. and I now welcome any question from the panel. Assalamualaikum.